So this entire like square block, really like 2 square blocks up to City Hall, is where a huge population of these people are, you know, coming together to stay and live. On average in Hamilton, I think there's 150 people in this particular area every night that are living unhoused. That's a lot.
Do you know what the official numbers are statistically in terms of homeless people in your area?
They're changing all the time. The 150 a night is something that is like in this area, they've been able to quantify it. We know that around the YMCA, the people that are being, you know, helped, there's 150 of them that come for daily supplies or that live like in this area and access supports. One of the hardest things about getting concrete statistics is that these people are invisible. They're trying to be invisible, or we are not giving them the access to visibility. People aren't coming to report with their ID or their health card, right, that they are trying to get access to things. We kind of know more like general numbers. The police know numbers from giving tickets or for having interactions. Coast as well, they're a mental health support group. They have their own numbers as well, but we don't have, it's unfortunate that we don't have like a larger sharing system for this information. But at the end of the day, like nobody cares enough to do that, right? It takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of money to put in the infrastructure to collect that kind of data. And you're not going to be collecting this data to go make money. So it's very undesirable to a lot of people.
Yeah, I see these photos, I see this project, and it does get me upset because, I mean, there's a lot, without trying to get political, because I try to stay apolitical on the podcast, but there's a lot of money that goes out to things that maybe doesn't need to go to, because we have a lot of issues like this right here that we are turning a blind eye to, or, you know, or pulling funding from, which is causing greater issues. But the money that came from there is now going to somewhere else where it's not really needed. And, you know, we're just kind of, I don't know. We're trying to empty the water out of the boat with a thimble, it seems.
Hopefully in the future, like societally, we can work on like preventative healthcare, both physical healthcare and mental healthcare, so that we can stop these people from having to struggle to survive on the streets. That is like, of course, a fantasy of Kendra's that like won't ever be like maintained in this or attained in this lifetime. But, you know, ideally it wouldn't get this far, right? There's always going to be issues with mental health. There's always going to be issues with addiction. You know, there's people that don't have support financially. Those are some of the common causes. Trauma, you mentioned, is a huge one, you know, that really put people in like the crosshairs to live this kind of like struggled life. But the more the support and the more access to support that we can give people before they get there, whether or not that be to like keep them in their homes or to give them mental health supports, you know, sending people to therapy or rehab, whatever it is that they want, that they need or are willing to receive at that time. I hope and would like to believe that the more that we can do those things, the more that we can prevent, you know, so many people living unhoused every single day.
And as a photographer, like you're doing with this project, you can force people to look at these uncomfortable things and be confronted with these uncomfortable things by just putting it in their face and saying, you need to see this.
Yeah. That was something that was important to me for sure.